What is going on? What is going on? South Texas, Corpus Christi. Welcome back to the Ridin Sports Podcast. But we got a little something different. I think we should call this the Legend Series. I think that's what me and King were working on. He's going to be joining us here in a minute. But in the meantime, in between time, I have a West Oso legend. Some of y'all call him Stevie. Some of y'all call him Steve. Some of y'all call him Coach. I have with me Mr. Steve Fillmore today. King, hit the applause button while you back there, sir. How you doing, my guy? Appreciate you for coming and joining us today. I just told King about this not so long ago. I had the pleasure of playing with for you at Carroll. He was my running backs coach. Had a couple of wins, couple of losses, but ultimately a lot of life lessons and these bullshit things called reminders. I hated them things. I remember this one time. I don't know if you remember this, but I had told you, I was like, hey, coach, me and my mom, we're moving apartments, yada, yada. And then, so I missed practice. Leon skipped practice. Art was hurt. And only Jason showed up for practice, to practice. So he took every snap at the running back position. He was the fullback. Bruh. And this nigga made all of us run, King. And I had an excuse. He mad as fuck all practice. I guess Morris yelled at him. I'm like, well, I'm good. I told him I wasn't gonna be there. This nigga made all of us run, bro.
It's not a punishment. It's makeup.
No, he said he would go, it's not punishment. It's a reminder. Remind you not to fumble the football. Remind you not to miss a blocking assignment, bruh. But before we get into it, King, anything you wanna?
Man, let's take it back all the way to the beginning, man. Where are you originally from?
Man, I was born and raised here in Corpus, you know what I'm saying, by way of West Haven. You know, we call it West Haven, Texas. You know, all the way up West Point, you know, down to Greenwood in the Madrid area. So I'm a West Side kid for real.
Already. Like, what elementaries and, like, stuff that you go to?
Man, I bounced around a little bit, man. I went to John F. Kennedy, like everybody on the West Side, and then went to Skinner. That's all West Oso District. Moved to Woodlawn in 3rd grade. Came back to West Oso. Moved to Toloso in 6th grade. Stayed out there for 2 years. Came back to West Oso, and then I finished it up at West Oso. I moved back and forth to Houston for a little while in there somewhere. I just can't remember what years. That was probably when I was in elementary at John F. Kennedy. But for the most part, it's been West Oso. You know, a little bit at Tolosa. I played 7th grade football out there and things like that, and then came back to us. So I played 8th grade football. And then
did you play like CCYFL football or anything like that?
Most definitely, man. I swear by CCYFL. I know nowadays you probably asked that because you heard some of the things I said, but no offense to Little League coaches out there, the Pop Warner game and all of that. I think it's dope they're doing, putting the show on the road a little bit. But I think at the same time, you know, playing local is just as good as traveling every week. You know, you take your son and take my son and take your son and put them all on different teams and let them play against each other. It builds a type of competitive camaraderie. You know, I think a lot of times these kids, they get together, you know, and your son, my son, his son, we all on the same team. We the best athletes in town. You know, you don't get as many touches as you would if you was on your own team, right? Yeah. I don't get as many touches as I would if I was on my own team, and vice versa for your son, you know. So I think these kids were playing on different teams against each other. Their skill level will get an opportunity to develop a little bit more. But I guess I'm just old school when it comes to that.
Yeah. And I would have to agree because for me, like, I look at like all the high schools in the city. We have 6 of them, right? And there is that lack of that competitive nature. Like how you were saying, like all these kids played on their own different teams. Then by the time they get to the high school level, they have that instilled rivalry. Like, hey, I've known that dude since he was 6 years old. I've been playing against him since he was 6. I'm at Vets. He's at Miller now. Let's get it. I think a lot of the times, like you're saying, they're on that AAU team. So when they see that guy, like, oh man, my bro just caught a touchdown against us. He balling right now. Opposed to, hey man, that's some bullshit. We just gave up a touchdown to that guy.
Right. And I just think, man, it's an opportunity, man, for kids to practice their skills. Literally, football is where the developmental skills and the developmental phase is done at, you know. And I say that to say, man, you get to middle school football or even high school football, and coaches on that level spend so much time trying to break bad habits. Pick up on a little league level. You know, or trying to develop players on that level because those players just didn't have the opportunity to develop. And then, you know as well as I do, you play sports. If you ever been on that good team, you know, that just always dominant, then sometimes you don't know how to lose. You know,
absolutely.
Or you don't know how to compete when you get into a rough situation late in the fourth quarter, game time, and things like that. Sometimes you fall down to pressure because you're not used to pressure. You know? But I think that comes from being dominant way too much. So sometimes a loss at the right time is a good loss because it gives you an opportunity to go back and
not be able to just sweep everything under the rug type shit.
Get yourself refocused and get after it, you know. And on the little league level, if kids don't have that opportunity to be tested, you know, if not on a weekly basis, on every other week or every so often, then hey man, when it comes time to the kids that have been in that situation, the kids you dominate will be the kids that roll over you when you get in high school.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've seen that done a lot.
And speaking on what you were saying about like that folding under pressure, when I first got here, I got here in 8th grade, and I was on the Grant football team. Right. And that 7th grade class, or that class that I was in, they had just came off winning the city championship in 7th grade. The 8th grade class before them had just won the city championship. But when it was our turn, like, I can understand what you're saying completely because, like, we went into that game expecting to dominate the who did we play? Was it Haas we played? I think it was Haas. Yeah, my boy. It was, but again though, it was we went into that game expecting to dominate. They hit back, and it was like, oh shit, this hasn't happened all season type shit. So 1,000%, I agree with like 1,000% what you said. So. How were you, like, and I want to transition into, like, your days when you were playing at West Oso. Like, what was it like for your West Oso teams, like, that freshman year, like,
let's go
like
to
middle school, okay.
Because I remember y'all kind of coming to West Oso, like, later, like you said, because I kind of remember something about y'all going to, like, Tuloso, and then y'all came to West Oso. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So, like I said, man, we started in, literally, we go back to CCYFL for just to understand what it was like coming to middle school and then going to high school, you know. But like I said, I went to TM my first year in middle school, 7th grade, so I didn't get to play with the kids that I grew up with. Man, there was a year in CCYFL, if you had a sibling, you automatically play on the same team unless you register late. Right? And if you register late, then y'all go to separate teams. So it was a year where I played against my brother.
Oh, shit.
One week, I played against Max Sharkey. I don't know if y'all know who that is. Another week, I played against Lamar Anthony one week, Liddell Anthony another week. Man, who else are some dudes? Jamal Lucas, House School, Hodge.
They was all out there CCYFL
on different teams.
That's crazy.
On different teams. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Smith. You know what I'm saying? Frankie Morales. Like, these are all dudes who, once they got to high school, you know, at their respective high schools, they was dominant at their respective high schools, you know, and what they did in Little League football kind of came together. There was those same dudes in high school. You know, fortunately enough for me, I went to middle school with my competition. So, like, when I played against my brother, I played against Liddell, Lamar. Johnny went to another school, but Kevin Simmons, may he rest in peace. You know, some of those dudes, man, once we got to middle school, that blended. Right? So now what you see now at an early age, right, you didn't get until you got to middle school. Like, man, we tired of beating up on each other. We finally get to play with each other.
And you know what he can do. He know what you can do.
7th grade, you played the whole season at Tuloso?
7th grade, I played the whole season at Tuloso.
And was you out there, like, shining on everybody? or it was just like kind of everybody? Y'all wasn't really that good. How was y'all
Man,
out there?
it was an eye opener for me because, like I said, I was always dominant in middle school. I mean, in Little League
Already,
you know, and then I got the TM and we were dominant there. We didn't win district. We lost to Kingsville, but we were dominant. But it wasn't easy like it was in middle school.
Already,
you know,
or like in City League, you mean? Already.
Yeah, in Little League.
Already,
you know, so it was a little. It wasn't, and I wasn't playing with my homeboys. You know, so I went out there to TM, and the kids were kind of different. You know, but we did beat Cal Allen. You know what I'm saying?
Already.
My brother team beat Cal Allen, but we lost to Kingsville. But we were probably the last Tuloso, and if I'm wrong, if somebody out there know I'm wrong, you could correct me. But I haven't heard of any other Tuloso Midway program beating the Cal Allen program since me and my brother left there. You know?
Yeah.
So
Impact.
So for you think about that. You got your 7th grade team,
Yeah.
and your 8th grade team beat Cal Allen on the same night. Then the future's looking bright.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For your program.
Absolutely.
And then-
and these niggas take off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I want to talk about. Yeah,
Track season.
let's talk about.
Niggas take the fuck
And they
off.
gone. You
So
know
when do you leave Tuloso? So is it like during the summer? Is it like during the school? Like, do the kids see you leave, or is it like summer you leave and you just don't come back for 8th grade? Like,
Nah, it wasn't even that. So you got to think my brother played both years.
okay, in 7th grade and 8th grade.
7th and 8th grade
Already.
at TM.
And he tearing it up out there.
Yeah, so he ripping it. So they really like
Like, we got 2 of them.
Yeah, you know.
We still got another year out of this one. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
already.
So they like, yeah, man, and my brother's a beast on the baseball field too.
Already.
So out there, the future's looking bright for Tuloso Midway sports for real. You know, and get to my 7th grade year and we play football there, we play basketball, and I believe we won district in basketball, both teams. You know, and get to track season, we go home for Christmas break.
Yeah.
You know, come back.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I take that back. We went home for spring break.
Oh,
Spring
man.
break because it was right after basketball season. I remember turning 13 and coming to hang out in the neighborhood, and me and Liddell, we were kicking it like right when I turned 13 and just New Year's Eve and stuff like that, and it was already gearing up. And then once we got to spring break, we just never checked back in because I started track. I did 1 week of track at
Tuloso.
TM, but I never ran. And then the track meet, I came to Oso and I ran at Oso.
Dang.
That's wild. So, were y'all like excited about the move? Were y'all like hesitant? Like, how was that? Like,
Going back to
back
Oso.
home?
yeah, like to move, like to leave your school that you know that like y'all are the foundation pieces for Tuloso High School in the next few years. You know what I mean?
Not really, not necessarily the foundation pieces. I think at Tuloso we had the football pieces. Like I was telling y'all earlier, there's different parts to the game.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times when you're watching teams and you see teams struggling, you know, you're looking at what's happening on the outside, on the perimeters. You're not paying attention what's going on in the interior.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that O-line and that D-line make the difference. We had that O-line and D-line at Tuloso, that we had the big boys. You know,
Already.
had we stayed, and then you got to think, I was in 7, my brother was in 8.
Yeah.
We never made it to the backfield together on the
Oh,
high school level
yeah.
at Tuloso. Right, so we made it to high school in the backfield with that line. Who knows? You know,
Yeah.
I know it was times to where there was talks of trying to get us over to Cal Allen. You know, then you're talking about putting us on a team with Victor Price and Shane Price, and you know, it's
Dang.
Recruiting was heavy.
it's crazy if that could have happened.
I remember
you know?
how it was so competitive back then. Like you had like stars at every school back then. Like
right,
by the time y'all
exactly.
got there, like it was stars at every school. So I know exactly what you're saying.
Right. And no knock on Miller. You know, like I love what Coach Evans got going on at Miller. You know what I'm saying? He's really turned the city upside down. You know, I know it'd be times where he get criticized for running a score up on people, but man, people was taking their shots at Miller for a very long time.
Yep.
You know, every away game that Miller played, it was homecoming for years.
I remember that.
You know, and it's their turn. You know,
it is.
It's their return. You know, and I mean, I'm not that coach that goes out there and try to break the scoreboard on you, but hey, if your dudes ain't ready, don't put them on the field. You know, and I shout outs to the Miller High School football program for what they've been able to do over there because they really turned that program around. Absolutely. You know, but when it comes to my situation, you know, I think we would have been successful wherever we went. You know, we decided to come back home. And so there was mixed feelings because we spent 2 years out there, and before we left, we had friends out there already, which is why we went there, you know. But it was an opportunity for us to come back home, man, and we jumped to it, and all that talent just came together at the right time. And you're talking about at the right time.
Yeah.
Because even also, like, people – they got their shots in on Oso.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
For years.
Yeah.
Even to this day,
yeah,
you know.
For sure.
And people look at the program over there right now, and they're down, you know, and that happens over there sometimes. But, you know, it's about the year-to-year thing, you know, trying to get some kids in there, some athletes in there that's used to playing football and things like that. But when they have their good years, they have a good year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't last that long over there because a lot of the times, once the coach gets to West Oso and he gets some success, they move out and they're always on a reset, you know, and that kind of hurt programs and things like that. But when we got there, it was an opportunity for me and my brother to play together in the backfield.
How did y'all do your eighth grade year at Oso?
We won district.
Undefeated?
Yeah, we killed.
Because I always hear about those teams that came before our teams, and they always say that y'all was like raw undefeated seasons and stuff like that.
We killed. But the difference is, man, like, if you know what's supposed to be, like, now there's a struggle sometimes on all levels.
Yeah.
Right? But when I was growing up, West Oso middle school football was all good. Was always.
Dominant.
You know, like,
yes.
you had Duna Lucky. I know at one time he was back there killing. You had Vernon Miller, who used to be back there killing. Bobby Davis, my Uncle Joseph, Thurman Thomas. Like, man, Oso had some dudes, you know.
Thurman Thomas?
No.
Oh. I was like, wait a minute.
Thurman Hamilton, I'm sorry. Thurman Hamilton, not Thomas. I'm sorry about that. But Oso always had talent in middle school. But if you know Oso, then by the time those dudes hit high school, they also hit the streets.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of that didn't always come together like it did for us. Man, God willing, our parents were a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, the kids that I grew up with, man, our parents were different. And then that's kind of when that AAU basketball and stuff like that started coming together.
Yeah.
So a couple of my classmates were geared into that real early. So the emphasis in sports was already established there. And it just kind of, man, it really helped us thrive a little bit. But, man, when it came together, you know.
So freshman year, you get to West Oso High School, and do you start off on the freshman squad, like first game?
It's a laugh for me.
No, I didn't, actually. Even though I thought I should have, you know, I played freshman football for the first scrimmage. I remember playing against Flower Bluff, and no, that's not the year. The second, yeah, that had to be the year because I think Fred, like 4 years older than me. I played defense against Flower Bluff. They didn't let me run the ball, but I got out there on defense and ran into Fred Wallace.
Oh, really?
We got to get Fred on here one day.
Well, you got to get Fred on here.
Already.
But if you know Fred Wallace, boy, like, Fred always been big. You know? But, and I remember Coach Lopez, Gabriel Sisso, he was like, welcome to varsity football, right?
Oh,
so then the second scrimmage we had was in Rockport, and they let me run the football once, and I kind of popped out like for a 70-yard run.
Yeah.
And I come back to the huddle, and Coach Lopez was like, well, see you later. It was nice having you on JV. And he was like, yeah, they're going to move you to varsity. But my brother played varsity the year before, and he killed it.
As a freshman.
Yeah. And then he broke his ankle right before the playoffs, so he didn't get to play the playoffs. But he killed it. And actually, you know, it's always been a debate between us two who was better and things like that. But, you know, if he did it as a freshman, I could do it as a freshman.
Yeah.
But my coach wouldn't let me run the football. You know, I just played defense. I was an outside linebacker. And, and then the one game they did let me run the football, it was 0-0, and they put me in, and I got a toss, and it was touchdown.
Damn.
And then they take me out, and they couldn't score. They put me back in, toss the other way, touchdown again.
Man.
Then they take me out. I don't run the ball for the rest of the year.
And who was the coach? There was that Sindahar out there?
Coach Sandler.
Already.
That's crazy.
For sure.
But it was cool, man. Coach Sandler was cool. I love Coach Sandler.
So you gotta. You don't got to get into it if you don't want to get into it. But we just curious because were you there that year we went to the San Antonio Astrodome? Not the Astrodome, but the Alamo Dome.
When we went to the Alamo Dome, or y'all went to the Alamo Dome?
I mean,
we went to the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, Alamo's. Y'all went to the Astrodome.
Y'all played in the.
We played in the Alamo Dome.
Stadium.
No, we played in both.
Y'all played in the Alamo Dome too?
Yeah, we played in the Alamo Dome. We played South San at Alamo Stadium. That had that shitty turf.
Yeah.
And then we played the Unicorns, New Braunfels, in the Alamo Dome. Yeah, we got belt to ass that game.
Unicorns
bro.
Was their mascot?
Huh? We lost to some damn unicorns, bro. Like boat race. So
no, I wasn't there that year, but the Alamo Stadium, I was there.
But so, what was it like to play in the Astrodome? Like a historic building. Like you had the Oilers playing on that field. You had Earl. That's a legendary building.
And that was like third round of the playoffs. Like I remember, like just as a fan, like you already know my grandpa. Like that was like a big deal for us. And I want to say, like for me as a kid, that was a big deal because most playoff games at Oso is gonna be like in Kingsville, or you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be like in a high school stadium. But for us to see, I remember watching the news that I can't remember. I think it was like Sunday night. And it came across the screen and said West Oso versus Sweeney, whatever time it was, Houston Astrodome. Bruh, we're going to Houston. Like, to us, that was just like, we were so loud because we knew we was going to Houston straight up. Right. And that was as a fan. So I can imagine what y'all felt like as players.
I mean, I remember going to watch Cal Allen and Lamarck play in the Astrodome.
Okay.
As a kid with my neighbors, then husband, Jesse Cantu, God rest his soul. It seemed like everybody I mentioned is passed and gone now. But him and his cousins, they took me to the Lamarck and Cal Island. And Lamarck smoked Cal Island. That's the first time I seen the high school, like on the kickoff, it had the dude stand out front and he go left to right. He go boom, 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 boom. And then y'all just drop and get in a 3-point stance. And I always remembered that, like, that's
kind of lit.
You know, but just the feeling and the atmosphere as a kid, you like, damn, I want to play down there one day. And I didn't watch a lot of pro football when I was younger. You know, really? I knew the Oilers played there, but I wasn't geeking out for that.
Yeah.
It was more like, shit, Cal Allen played in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they let high school teams play in here. So I remember playing against Orange Grove, getting ready for that game, practicing, and Coach Cantu, he was an offensive line coach. He was geeked up. He came to practice one day. He was like, God damn it, they said we get to play the Astrodome with this game. You motherfuckers better not play this game. But crazy. He was playing it. He was lit. And then our offensive coordinator, Coach Flo, I don't know if he was getting married or he had a trip planned or a honeymoon. But it's one of those situations where he planned that trip early.
Already.
And probably before football season started. Yeah. Kind of based off of past history.
That y'all weren't going that far.
Already. That's third round. We free that week, babe.
Right. So we get there that week playing against Orange Grove, and Coach Flo wasn't going to be at the game. We was like, oh, what kind of shit is that? You know?
That's crazy work.
So, but, we beat Orange Grove, and we had the posters and all that shit already made. So we knew we was going to the Astrodome. But the trip in itself was a trip. You know, like, not even a game. Yeah. Like, the game is the game, you know, but it's, man, taking them trips in high school, and we been there. Yeah. You know, it's like going to Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you leaving? No, we didn't even leave school early, you know?
Because y'all want to say y'all left on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah.
We ate with our families. We got on the bus on Thanksgiving Day, so that's a feeling in itself.
Put y'all in a hotel and everything.
Yeah, bro.
Chartered y'all, or y'all took the school bus?
Chartered. With the mayor. Hey, I got a picture of me, my brother, my grandma, my little brother, and the mayor before we got on the bus. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was out there. They was crunk, and just to get there, I remember getting to the Astrodome, walking down the tunnel, getting ready for practice. I don't know if you've seen an old school Bad News Bears.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
So it's just like that when they walk out there and you look up and everything starts spinning. Bro, that's the way it really is.
I can attest to that because, like, I remember we were doing PPK in this freaking Alamo Dome, bro. I remember walking out of the tunnel. Man, it's chilling. Big, bright ass, like, what the? Yeah. And dog, like,
that's the feeling, man.
It's crazy.
The feeling of it all was better when it was empty than it was with a bunch.
Yeah.
Because you like, just the thought of, man, packing this place, and then you got the field, no track.
Yeah.
And it just everything's spinning. You go out there and you run on it for the first time and the field got a little bounce to it.
Yeah.
You can feel some speed.
Because niggas was out there on Jordans. It was Jordans though, because I don't think, also at that point, up to that point, y'all hadn't played on the turf field,
had
y'all?
We hadn't played on turf, so everybody's going to get tennis shoes. But some people, they were like pulling out like hot top turf shoes. I think our coaches went to Kingsville. They went to Kingsville to get some turf cleats for us to borrow. So they did do that. My pops had went and got us some Adidas, and they were low tops. And I was suspect about wearing the low tops. Hey, but them hoes were light. Boy, I got some bounce, man. But we get in there and we start practicing. And we're just helmets, no shoulder pads or nothing.
Yeah.
And man, we're probably like 5 minutes out from getting ready to shut it down, and somebody put a face mask on my collarbone, and I thought I broke my shit. So imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. So for the majority of the night, I'm like, I think my shit broke, and I'm trying to play it off, and you know what I'm saying? And then we get to the hotel room, and all you hear is that click, clack, click, clack.
Damn
click,
it.
Clack. Not in my shoulder. You just click, 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 clack, click, clack. The boys getting that dice game going. You know what I'm saying? That shoulder started feeling good real quick. Getting there.
That's crazy.
So we go to dinner, you know what I'm saying? And I can't remember who put the face mask on my shoulder, but everybody was pissed at him. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying? But when we got back to the room, they started shooting dice, and I was hurting, but I was trying to stand, and I got hit.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I got hit for like about 110, 115. Yeah. That's a lot of money back then in high school. So you up there hurting, So then we get the next morning.
Give him his money back, y'all, so he can feel good about tomorrow.
We go to breakfast, and everybody, you good? You gonna play? Yeah, I'm good. But I'm mad about something else. Me and Beto.
Oh, shit.
My best friend. You know what I'm saying? Me and Beto, we get up in a hotel room. We trying to run it back one time. He hit the night before, and, bro, we shot head to head, and I stung his ass before we got on that bus. We were late to the bus shooting dice head to head.
God damn. That's some Oso shit if I ever heard it, bro. Because my brother used to coach at Oso. I used to go pull up at the practices sometimes. Like, some of the stories I would hear from, like, bro, I'm like, dog, it's crazy. Bro, that's some Oso shit.
Hey, listen, we was some shooting dice motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro, we were on our way to the state championship.
Yeah.
In basketball.
We're going to get there. We're going to get to that story. Bro, yeah, we're going to get there. We're still on sophomore year. We're going to get to senior year.
My sophomore year, we went to state.
Oh, you played on the... Okay, because your brother... You played sophomore year, but you didn't play basketball junior year.
My junior year, I broke my ankle.
Okay, because your brother played on that team.
My brother played on that team.
And he was showing ass.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I broke my ankle my junior year in the last game of district.
Okay.
So I didn't play basketball. But my sophomore year... I played, you know what I'm saying?
Went to state, hell yeah.
Went to state, bro. We shooting dice in the aisle.
Yeah.
On a school bus, not on a charter, on a school bus, and there's people following us.
God damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like watching us shoot dice, and Coach Campbell got heated, boy.
Damn.
He came back there and just give it to me. Took all our money, bro.
Damn.
He was sick. He got it back.
Technically, he robbed y'all. Technically, he robbed y'all. Did you get your money back?
Yeah, he gave it back
All
to
right,
us.
man, never
And he
mind.
was like, hey, man, y'all sitting back there in that window. Y'all don't be doing that. Woo, woo. You know, but, man, they used to catch us in the restroom stalls. We be at, like, the JV, junior high football games in the restroom stalls. Locked in there, shooting dice, and the coaches come in.
Yeah.
Boy, we rolled. But we was out there, boy, rolling, because it was like 10 of us sitting in the stall shooting dice. Coach come in. Everybody try to stand up, act like they peeing in the same toilet.
God damn.
Get out of here with that. But nah.
Let's talk about the actual football game.
The morning, so I hit. So my trip is going bad so far. You know, like I take a face mask to the collarbone. I lose all my money in the dice game. I wake up in the morning. I'm hurting, and I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So
down bad.
Me and my partner, we shooting. I hit him for all my money back in his.
Damn.
I get on the bus feeling good.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? So I get in Asheville. I knew it was gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
Man, and we get out there, man, and we warm up. And bro, we got our JV team with us.
Yeah.
But we go from like before the coin flip, we go from 40 to 40. Sweeney come out there, and I think it's a picture after school they had. They went from 20 to 20.
Damn!
Like,
Yeah.
I
remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I like, oh boy, that's like an intimidation tactic.
Yeah.
But they were going 11 on, 11 off, 11 on, 11 off the whole game, and bro, it wore on us, you know, and that's something I learned.
Yeah, they have more depth than you.
Going all the way back to that, something I carry with me throughout my coaching career and things like that about, hey man, playing kids both ways, you know, and we had to. You know what I'm saying? And we had the dudes who could do it, kind of like Travis Hunter. He could play both ways and not be fazed by it, you know. But then there come a time where you're going to run into a team that'll wear you down like that, you know.
Absolutely.
And
was it fun playing both ways? Because as a fan, it was fun for me watching y'all play both ways.
It was more of a thing like, man, sitting on a bench and they score.
Yeah.
On the person that's playing your spot. You feel me? Now you feel like, man,
now I can do that.
So a game like that, you talking about then Taft wasn't very good. So, like, okay, for example, I was my first game that year against Foul, I scored 4 touchdowns. The second game, I can't remember who it was, I scored 4. My third game, I scored 4. I think at the time the school record was like 16, maybe 15 touchdowns or something like that. I was on pace to break the school record for touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, in the season. And fucking Beatty again, my homeboy, Beto, we get in trouble in Miss Fan class. She take us to the office.
I remember Miss Fan.
Coach Sanderhart come in the office like, I heard he told him about how to act on game day. You do whatever you want to do with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, he just hung us out to dry type shit. You know what I'm saying? But even Marcus Campbell was in trouble for something that week. And, bro, they let me play defense. I did not play offense the whole game.
Oh, man.
The whole game. And he put me in. Like, they get the ball to, like, the 1 yard line.
You said that was against Taft?
Huh?
That was against Taft?
Against Taft.
And Taft is, man, we going to mark Taft back. In them days, Taft was a W on the schedule before the season started.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so you talking about 4-4-4. I came out of there with 20, 21 maybe. Yeah. You know, and, bro, he didn't let me carry the ball the whole game. He put me in on the goal line, and I think that was only because everybody was anticipating me to break that record.
Already.
So he had to, and I fell across it. It didn't even feel the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got robbed of my glory. I wanted to pop one off.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You want to go for 50.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but I got that ball at the house too.
Already.
But yeah, I mean.
So the game, like, was they like stiff competition that you feel like? Because I feel like, man, y'all really could have got them. It was just a couple of,
you want to say,
on
bad the field.
Calls, just kind of like ball didn't go y'all's way a couple of times.
So
man.
that go back to what I was saying. You want to be on the field because if you're not and things go wrong, then if you're an athlete, you're a real player, then you credit that to you. I popped off on a 90-something yard run.
99, if I ain't mistaken. Yeah.
Sheesh.
No. It was
98
more,
or
97.
something? Okay.
It was on the 3. Toss right, chop. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their block except for Chris Carter. Like, he missed. That's my homeboy, though. But I tell him all the time.
It cost me.
But you watch the film, dude missed. He missed the first tackle, popped right back up. And, bro, it don't matter where I went on the field. He was right behind me the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just outrunning him.
Yeah.
And then Chris run between me and dude. I see Chris run behind me, so I figured I was good.
Yeah.
And I shut it down. And when I shut it down, dude jumped out, hit my ankle, and I fall. And then I was tired. I was burnt. I was gassed. You know, like, it was 90-something yards, but it was more like 100 or something because I cut across the field.
What you swerving is?
I cut across the field, so I probably did more like 150s. But it was like a sprint, you know, like a 200-meter dash, and I went to the bench, and we didn't score.
I'll say 4 plays from the 1 yard line, if I remember. I want to say it was like the first 2 plays were from the 1. They got sacked for like the 3rd down or something. So I want to say like the 4th down play was probably like from like the 7 or 8 yard line. And I just remember four downs inside the 10 and nothing.
They should have called timeout, let me catch my breath, and gave me
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have my brother back there.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it in. I think they went to my brother.
Didn't they try to do like some trick pass with Kevin or something like that?
They threw the ball to J.J. Canales in the end zone. He got hit, and he dropped the ball. Then they went to my brother. Then they put me in on 4th down. But I was still gassed. You know what I'm saying? But they already had backed us up, and they brought the house, and I got tackled in the backfield. And then they marched down.
Yeah.
And scored.
Yeah.
You know,
Demoralized.
we came out to start the game, and we threw a bomb to Kevin. Kevin scored. He opened the game up with a touchdown.
Yeah.
We on their ass. We got him. You
Yeah,
know?
hell yeah.
And then I pop off, you know, and I remember in halftime going to sit in the showers. Not with the shower on. Like, the shower had, like, these little seats in there. I just went in there and I sat down, and I was breathing heavy the whole time. Just, like, bro, I was dead from that run. It was right before the half.
Yeah.
You know, so I was spent, you know.
Damn.
And I barely caught my second win coming back out the second half, but we played with them good. It's just, man, we scored, missed the field goal. They scored, made the field goal. That's 1 point. We scored, went for 2, missed it. They scored, went for 2, made it. That go 3 points, right? We kicked the field goal, or tried to kick a field goal, missed it. They kicked the field goal, made it. That's 6. So at some point, like right there towards the end of the game, it was like a 6-point lead or something like that, you know. And like 3 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah, it was a real close
you know,
game. I
and
remember.
then it was like 4th down, I want to say, for them, maybe 3rd. And we brought the house, and they ran a draw.
Damn it.
Broke it. I remember that.
Out there, 12 points right there. But we played them good, man. And then Aransas Pass ended up beating them the next week.
Yep, the very next week, Aransas Pass beat them to go to state. Yep.
Lucky ass 50-yard field goal from Renee Vasquez.
Oh, shit. Already.
You know what?
He,
Coach,
to this day, don't shut the fuck up about
you know what Coach Fillmore would have told me on that 90-yard run?
Run through the back of the end zone.
Run through the back of the end zone.
Already.
Run through the back of the end zone.
Let's kind of speed through it a little bit because we're kind of on a little bit of a schedule. So let's
see.
Let's talk about. Let's go to senior year. The stats you put up senior year, you mean like all district honors and stuff like that, and then like your college recruitment. Like when do you start getting letters from like colleges and stuff like that?
Man, so believe it or not, man, I didn't get a bunch of letters from college, and the recruiting landscape back then was different. You know, a lot of stuff from high school that I learned, I try to carry into coaching now. You know. We had coaches come through, coaches come talk to us. I had an opportunity to go to Navy. I had an opportunity to go to Air Force. I had an opportunity to go to Dartmouth University. I didn't even know what Dartmouth was. I didn't know it was an Ivy League school until I was in college.
Oh, okay.
Right, watching a movie, and they're talking about some Ivy League schools, and there go them talking about Dartmouth, and I was like, yo, I got recruited by that school heavy.
Dang.
They're like, man, you full of shit. I'm like, nah, for real. I go to my box. Here go the letters, handwritten letters. You talking about being uneducated. That's life changing. I probably don't know y'all now. You know, like I be out there working somewhere
Wall
making
Street
big money.
Yeah.
You know, but a buddy of mine, my neighbors, they were going to school in Iowa. I was getting recruited by Iowa State for sure. I couldn't pass the test because the day before I had my SAT or ACT, one of those tests, bro, we had prom.
Oh.
And I was up all night getting lit. And then, you know how you think when you're a kid.
Yeah.
All I got to do is this.
Yeah.
I'll be good for this.
Yeah.
Well, I fired up before I went in to take my test.
Oh,
And, bro, I spent the first hour and a half just stuck on the first page. Like,
just daydreaming.
Dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Stuck on
like,
stupid.
Dumb. Don't know no better. But I say all that to say, man, the recruiting game back then ain't what it is now. You know, I remember getting to the college that I did go to, and there was a box sitting on the floor full of tapes. You know, and my running back coach was like, oh, that's all the shit we get in the mail.
From different players?
From different players just trying to get recruited.
Yeah.
And you talk tapes cost.
Yeah, back then.
It ain't like uploading your
film the huddle or anything like that. Yeah.
Even on YouTube, like
if your people's got some footage of you playing and it's their footage, like they done spent some money, bro.
Yeah. Being able to record that tape and I mean tapes do you send out, they even look at you. Nah, it was back then it was really who you knew. You
so
know
your brother went to Midwestern, if I'm mistaken, the year before?
Okay, so my brother went to Blinn.
His freshman year?
His freshman year of college ball. Well, he didn't play college ball. His freshman year of college, he went to Blinn to play football.
Okay.
If you know anything about Blinn, there's two different campuses. Okay. One in Bryan, which is College Station, and then there's one in Brenham.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in Brenham.
Okay.
He was in Bryan, and he was staying with my son's mother and her sister, and he couldn't get back and forth to Brenham because Brenham 30 minutes away. He didn't have a car. So he came home, and he hid out at his girlfriend's for almost a year. You talking about he didn't come to a single football game my senior year.
Oh, man.
Or basketball.
And he was here?
And he was here.
Okay.
People don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was here when it comes to a game.
Already.
So then I graduate. I go to college in Iowa. I play a whole season. He's still not in school.
Oh, okay.
He's still home fucking up. You know, by now, and now he's starting to come out a little bit. People seeing him.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, hey, now when I came home, I took him to Kingsville to talk to the coaches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when I left, somebody else took him back out there, and he went to Kingsville.
Oh, really?
So that's how I got in front of my brother in college.
Oh, really?
But it did him some good because for 2 years, he was just hitting that iron.
Oh, really?
Hitting that iron, pushing the car, he turned into All-American.
Oh, hell
You know, but so as far as the recruiting landscape, I just talked to a friend today. Her son is starting quarterback at Sinton, you know, and
That's
she was saying he's having problems getting recruited right now also, but the portal make it hard for high school kids.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and colleges aren't recruiting high school kids, they're recruiting out of the portal now. So we're trying to figure out something to get him into school and things like that, but shit, the recruiting game back then is worse than it is now because, hey, man, I got enough money for 4 tapes. Where do I send them? And then naturally back then, UT, Texas Tech, better, all the major colleges, the big schools.
Yeah.
You know, you're not even thinking, hey, man.
Southwest Texas was Texas State back then,
Yeah.
Or U of H or nothing like that. Rice, you just thinking straight. Yeah.
The big schools, Florida State, Miami.
I'm going to Oklahoma.
Nobody knew better, you know, and the coaches didn't come say, hey, sit down and let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, now Huddle, you just send the link.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? YouTube, upload your stuff, you send a link. And it's if the coaches get to it, they get to it. If they don't, they don't. But you can send it any and everywhere. Yeah. You know, put them all on a mass email. You know, so, the recruiting game was a little bit wicked back then.
And you ended up going to Upper Iowa, right?
Upper Iowa University,
So, what was it like being in Iowa? Because I remember you told us this one story how, like, you being a Texas kid, drove from Texas to Iowa in shorts.
You remember that story?
I remember that story. I remember everything all my old heads told me. Bro, dig this story. This shit funny.
Bro, I left to Iowa on August 12th. right? No, the morning, August 13th, that morning, I left and drove to Iowa, 2001. We get to camp. I'm in shorts and T-shirt when I leave. You talking about cutoff T-shirt. And get up to Kansas, stop to get some gas. We hadn't been out the car for like 2 states. You know what I'm saying? Like, we pushing it from full tank to empty. You feel me? So we get to the store, open the door, and whoo, that Jack Frost hit. Boy, it's August 13th. It's 30 degrees outside. In Kansas. So I go in the store. We in Kansas City. I go in the store, and the dude was like, "Where you from?" I said, "Texas." He said, "Where you headed?" I said, "Iowa." He said, "Good luck." Boy, it was cold. The whole time I was there, man, I loved Iowa. You know, I'd still be in Iowa to this day if it wasn't so cold. But it was dope. It was different. The people out there were nice. You know, you don't have to worry about things like racism out there and things like that. Yeah. I learned a lot of things about people in America and Iowa, man. Like the white people out there don't identify as white. They're Russian, they're German, they're Dutch, they're Irish or whatever, and none of them motherfuckers like each other. Like, they have their own cities. Yeah. And, hey, your friends could come in, meaning the black people. Yeah. Hey, the dude with the red hair, he can't come in. They don't like Irish people out there. That's Irish. Hey, that dude with the big nose, he can't come in.
That's crazy word.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's kind of like, but they cool out there, man. Like, I'm over-exaggerating on that a little bit, but.
Joey's tuned in. Joey said y'all was listening to Hellraiser the whole
driving
way.
A Nissan.
Joey was in the car with me.
Okay, already.
Joey was driving a Nissan.
Joey was in the car with me when we got out at the store.
Hey, Joey, what was your first thought? I want to know Joey's first thought when he got out of that car and it's 30 degrees on August the 12th.
August 13th.
August 13th. It's 30 degrees, 2001. You're in Kansas City. Damn. What's your first thought?
Was Joey and them just dropping you off over there? Or they was going to school over there
Joey's sister went to school out there.
Already.
He was riding with me.
Already.
This motherfucker's supposed to be helping me drive.
That's crazy work.
We 18. He was driving before I was driving.
Already.
So I thought we would say bet. Nah, he was asleep. I put him in the driver's seat. In the seat, I think I put him in at the wrong time. He was tired. I was tired. But shit, we was swerving. He almost put us up under 18-wheeler.
Damn!
But nah, we were banging. Joey, that's my boy, man. We grew up together, man. Like, my little brother, Joey, for real. But he remembered, opened that door to that car, that Jack Frost came. Boy.
You say wild thoughts.
I went to get my license the next day before. Also, shout out Snicks in the chat. Hey, make sure y'all like this. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all subscribe. We always bring in GOATs. We always talking sports. Y'all be here every Wednesday. But like the video, share the video. Shout out Fillmore. Shout out King. But let's get into life after college. So we graduate. How was your college career?
4 years?
Out 4 years.
Oh, really? You didn't have to redshirt your freshman year or nothing like that?
Nah, I didn't have to redshirt, man. Like I said, man, I learned so many life lessons for coaching. Like, a lot of people go through things, man, and they see all bad things as bad things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a lesson to be learned in the bad things. You know what I'm saying? And making it through the storm, sticking things through, even when things get bad, man, kind of sticking it out. A lot of, like, these kids now, they got the option to jump back and forth in the portal. I had opportunities to transfer out, and I didn't. Like I said, I was being recruited by Iowa State. I went out there to Upper Iowa because I was going to go there for a year, get my grades up, and then try to transfer into Iowa State. Got behind on my grades. And then I had 2 kids when I was there, you know, before I could even blink. So it was like, man, I'm just going to chill here. But, man, I met some of my closest friends there, man, you know, for life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you talking about when my son got killed, like, man, my 2 homeboys from out there, they hurry up and got out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet people like that, you know, along with the people that I grew up with, but that's like extended family out there, man. And I was dope. I liked it out there, man, and I learned some things, you know, but my team wasn't that good at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I learned if you have to use a bunch of freshmen, or a bunch of your transfers in to play that first year, your team ain't that good.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Like you when you go play on a good team like Texas A&M, like where my son is at, UT, hey, son, you got to go work the program. You got to go earn your spot. Like you're not just there and gonna go jump on the field. They don't
starting from day one.
Absolutely.
Like Ernest Campbell, 4-time state champion in the 100-meter dash. I talked to his mom on the phone, and she believed he should be playing. I believe he should be playing right now, but I'm like, Tasha, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it ain't that they don't want to use them. It's like they don't have to use them. They don't feel like they do.
Yeah, no need to burn that red shirt.
Right.
No.
If they were getting slaughtered or killed, then they'll be looking at different options, trying to make things work. And, man, Ernest's probably the fastest dude on the team, probably one of the most skilled kids, but he's still young. He going to get his turn. He just got to be patient, but
what school's he at?
Texas A&M.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
life after college football. Do you stay in Iowa? You come back home?
I was on first thing smoking. I was on first thing smoking, and it's crazy because I came home, and then my boy's mom stayed out there with the kids to finish school.
Okay.
She had one more year, and appreciate it. I came home, and then I went back to help her with the kids, but man, the minute I stepped off of the bus in Iowa, called my dad to check with let him know that I made it safe.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, get your ass back on the bus and turn around. The Simmons boy just got killed and Beatty on his deathbed, That's when Kevin and them had gotten into that accident.
Yeah.
Basically saying ain't nothing here for you right now.
He said come back home. Come back home.
Oh, wow.
Stuff that happened, yeah.
But I was flat ass broke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I spent all my money to get out there. I got off the bus broke, and it was like, so I was trying to make some things shake to get back, and I couldn't. And then after that, I think it was Flash or Mr. Trimble, then Flash, then it was just every other month somebody different. Jeremy, Big Willie brother.
Yeah.
So I think when Flash had passed, that's when I finally said I'm gonna come home. You know what I'm saying? And then, but I still didn't make it home for his funeral. I didn't have no money out there. I was still poor, and then just a slew of other events happened, and eventually I made it back home, and then I went to West Oso to get a job as a parent. Well, that first year I came home, before all of that, I was at Taft. I had coached at Taft for a semester. Then I left and went back to Iowa, and then I came back. That's when I went to West Oso, and the rest is Oso for 4 years, then Carroll with Jarvis and them for 2 years, and then to Moody. I went to Moody for 4 years, and then to Vets, and then to John Paul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hell yeah. And honestly, like, being like one of your former athletes, like, your coaching style is that of a teacher motivator type. You know what I mean? It's not like that. Now, he gonna get on your ass if you fucking up, but like, it's not a lot of yelling or like, hey, you ain't doing shit type shit. You know what I mean? Like, he has a very easy way to explain the game, whether you're a 5th-year college senior or a 7th grader just barely touching the field. So where did you develop that teaching style?
Man, I had you 6 years in, right? I'm sure one of them other clowns is going to chime in shortly, or as soon as they see this, they'll tell you we had him his first year.
Yeah. You
talking about going home with headaches every day, your neck hurting every day, screaming and yelling. You got Shaq. I want to beat Shaq up every day. Paul Woods, man, they favorite story is one day where I was going to beat Paul Woods up out there. You talking about, I love Paul. It was a little crew. I get attached to kids, neighborhood kids, and it was funny, but you know what I'm saying? Like at the time, and they still made jokes about it. But I was aggressive in my coaching style, man. And I remember Coach Campbell called me in, and we were talking. He was like, hey, man, you got to remember, you're expecting them to do things you couldn't do at their age, and you're one of the elite athletes, you know. And after my first year, I heard him say it. It didn't sink in. until I went to play arena football that year, you know, and just dudes who was trying to try out for the team that wasn't, like, when we played for the Hammerheads, dudes thought that the Hammerheads was semi-pro football, and it wasn't. You
Totally
know,
different
like we had some different dudes out there, you know, and you'll get dudes come in who they try out and they think they got the juice and they didn't, and it just hit me what Coach Campbell had said, like, hey, you want them dudes to do what you can't do, and
You're one of the elite.
you want the elites.
Yeah.
These dudes ain't the elite. They can't. And then so that next year, man, it was more coaching than screaming and yelling and teaching and trying to make sure they got it, you know. But at the same time, realizing, man, it don't take all that to get your point across. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, you just develop a relationship with your athletes, man. You get them to do things off the strength because they don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you get them to buy in and understand, man, I want this for y'all, not for me, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, I have my day, you know, this y'all time to shine. And when you win and take care of a lot of stuff.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to scream and yell and all that to get your point across because they understand what it takes to win. You know, so that made the difference. So by the time I got to y'all, man, I chilled all the way out, you know. And I was at Carroll High School, which when I was growing up was the pinnacle, but I wasn't gonna go to no fucking Carroll, you know. But that's, as a coach, that's where you kind of felt like, hey, man, they got some good coaches over there. Just to realize that we have some good coaches, but it ain't the X's and O's, it's the Jimmy and Joes.
We had some dudes.
And then Jimmy and Joe's, it was still Carroll, you know, but it was declining already at that time, you know. But just, I remember Coach Trevino coming in that following year after y'all.
Yeah.
And wanting to do boot camp and all that, and we're doing boot camp, but we're screaming and yelling at kids in boot camp that were disciplined kids. Like, and he wanted us to scream and yell at kids that weren't doing shit wrong. Yeah. It just didn't feel right to me.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna be screaming at this kid and he doing everything right. Yeah. You talking about a man running from here to there, jumping out on their stomach, sliding across the wall, hitting their heads on the wall, getting up and running back, and he still wanted us to scream and yell. I did it for like a day. I was hoarse, and I was like, man, this shit is clowning, bro. Yeah.
Let's talk about your arena football career. I'm seeing in 2006, the Iowa Barnstormers of the AFL. Were you a coach or were you a player on it?
I tried out for the Barnstormers, and I didn't make the travel roster. That's when I had came home. Okay. And then I came home, and then I tried out for the Sharks. Okay. And then I got cut from the Sharks, and I got picked up by the Hammerheads and got a call from the Sharks the following week trying to pick me back up, but I was already playing with the Hammerheads. But the Sharks was AFL 2 at the time. Yeah. The Hammerheads was IFL, but they had 2 games in Alaska on the schedule. So I said, I'm going to stay over here, rock with my brother. I mean, it was a chance for me to play with my brother again, but, man, that was probably the most fun I ever had playing football, was arena football. Really? Man, getting on the buses, going places like Alaska, Louisiana, traveling through Texas and things like that, different spots, you know, standing in the hotel rooms and just being out there, man. Like, the arena game was fun. It really was. It was a different experience.
For sure.
Did it take you a little bit of time to adjust from 11-man outdoor to arena?
Just the rules. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff that you get flagged for. But football is football. Yeah. You know, so it's a way faster game. Hey, you either get to it or you don't, you know, but just the rules, remembering to lift your hand. If you're blitzing, you got to declare. You know what I'm saying? If you break the huddle, you just want to get to it. So if you're the tight end, you got to declare every single play, you know, but you just want to get to it. You know, you're not used to raising your hand in regular football.
Help me, I blitz, please.
Yeah. So just that, stand in the box if you're the jack, meaning you got to go wall to wall. You can't drop deeper than 10 yards, and you're drifting and don't know you're drifting, you know. It's natural. But outside of that, man, I think every NFL team should own an arena football team. You know, that way you can develop quick game quarterbacks, you know. And, cause, hey, man, it's some dudes that play outdoor football that can't come play indoor football. Facts. You know, but you got a lot of dudes who play indoor, go play outdoor, and they kicked Kurt Warner, started indoor football. So it was fun. You know what I'm saying? I wish I still had the needs to play, but I love being around that game.
No, really. Man, let's go into elite sports and fitness. What made you want to start that?
And it was just an opportunity to work with kids. I worked in a school system for so long. I worked for other coaches who I felt like were doing it wrong. And nobody in particular, not saying any names, but there's a lot of stuff that I thought. Corpus is notorious for hiring coaches who never been in the room. And I'm not trying to knock anybody or anything like that, but you have to have been in a room to understand the game on a different level, to understand that what you're doing is, one, wrong, or two, not called for. We don't have to do all that, right? Like, while we're sitting here doing this, we be doing something else. Like, I remember one day putting the kids in full gear just to put flags around their waist.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And I remember that day, and I'm like, man, I just can't do it. So I was like, man, let me get to the training part of it, get back to the pure part, and then work with kids and try to get them ready. I was trying to get out of coaching after school and just training, where I'm not having to be there on Saturdays, be there on Sundays when I thought we shouldn't have been, and just teaching kids how to play the game, how to, get faster, and get good with their feet. So we took it, but I wanted to make it affordable,
Really.
I didn't want to hit kids over the head or parents over the head because, man, getting better takes time, And if the parent can't afford to give you that time to get their kids better, then it's all for nothing. 2 sessions, you can't come back because you can't afford it.
Yeah.
The work we put in was a waste of time, So I charge monthly, and then with that, I've met so many people. Just that little stint I had at Elite, man, I've been blessed to meet people that's solid in my life right now.
Oh, really?
People that I would have never met any other way, but they've really been blessings in my life ever since.
Oh, really?
A lot of dope people, for real.
Sure. Got anything else over there?
Talk
about the 3 News whenever they did the article on you. The 3 News, the Someone to Know segment that they had did on you. I saw that the other day. I thought that was real dope.
Coincidentally, the dude who did the segment, he worked for Channel 3, but he had been around when we were coming up playing football and stuff like that behind the camera. And he was just riding through one day and seeing us out there.
Yeah.
Like, we had the kids across the ditch and run our little football camp, which was cool because I had an opportunity to complete that circle, man. My high school coach, Coach Sanderhart, he was out there with us, helping us coach the kids.
That's what's up.
And just to be out there with him and watch how, like, our approach and his approach with the kids, and it was some of the things that he demanded that I was tough on the kids.
Yeah.
But he was tough on the kids, but his came before we did anything. Mine came in the drilling. Like, he got out there, he was like, all right, everybody take a knee. Hey, look up here at me, don't move. And the kids were like,
commanding that respect.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Even you were like this.
Like, but it was cool. Then my other homeboy, Coach Will, I worked with at Vets, man, he came out and he helped us out. And Coach Will brought that flair to it. Man, that's the dopest little dude I ever met, man. Like, I pray to God I get to work with him again one day. But and the kids love Coach Will, man. And Precious came by. He seen us out there. And, from the neighborhood, he asked me what we was doing, asked the story. And just told him, man, we're trying to do this for the neighborhood kids, trying to make it affordable. You talking about the kids taking that shop?
Yeah.
Man, and we turned that into ground zero. Like, you talking about closing down for the day, but it's still a shop full of kids spending the night and chilling and tearing up the place. Like, they still talk
like
about
a hangout
it.
Type place already.
Yeah, to this day they still talk. Parents used to just come and drop off food and keep it moving. Like, it was like, I'd be like, yo, where y'all get that pizza from? Oh, my mom brought it. What you mean? She didn't take you home?
Babysitting service.
Nah, it was cool, man. I loved it, man. Like, To this day, kids talk about it, man. That was probably one of the highlights of my life, man, just being able to do that with my kids and their friends. And, you know, they met some lifelong friends through that, man. We got a lot of those kids went on and played some good football.
Hell yeah. Man, one more thing before we get up out of here, man. You coach arena football, you didn't coach high school football. What's the difference between coaching young men and grown men?
That's a question.
Just going back to what I said, Coach Campbell taught me, you know, expectation. You know, on a high school level, kids are still developing, right? And same thing that we started off with, talking about the Little League kids to middle school to high school, and then understanding the coaching that they had before they got to you. Right? Hey, man, you go to college, and college coaches are big on telling you how trash your high school coaches are. Hey, your high school coach fucking suck.
Oh, man.
Hey, coach. Hey, what school did you go to? Hey, remind us to never recruit from that motherfucker no more. Like, they're notorious for that.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get in high school, and your high school coaches think the same about your middle school coaches. Your middle school coaches think the same about your dad.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Who coached you in Little League. You know, so... But yeah, just being able to bridge that gap. And hey, man, I always tell kids, and then we do the parents meetings, when I'm through with your son, right, your kid's gonna be able to do one or two things. That's go play on the next level, or at least be able to teach his kids the right way.
Oh, really?
You know, and the second part is the most important part for me, is being able to go teach your kids the right way. You know, you like Shaq, you know, and Shaq tell me all the time, man, I wish I'd have listened to you, but that's why I do this, and that with my son. You know, and his son is a beast. You know, some of those other kids, OTF, OTE, and all them, their parents play for me. You know, so and
the answer to that is no, Joel. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was reading that comment. He said, "Ask him, do you think West Oso is winning a state championship in football?"
He said, "Do you ever see West Oso winning a state championship in football?"
I believe anything can happen, man. You put the right pieces together. You know, it takes the community to get behind the program. You know, not to tear down the program, but to understand where it's at now. You know, like, where's our kids that's supposed to be at West Oso? Right? And let's get them kids back to West Oso. Right? And then let's get up. Let's start programs now when those kids are young that help them when they get older, right? Where's the West Oso Little League program? You go to Sinton, and when your team is coming onto the field, they're being heckled by Sinton Little League football program coming through the gate. Hey, y'all suck. Woo, woo, y'all, all the little kids. It's funny, you know what I'm saying? But when those kids would be Sinton high school kids. A few years from now, but they've been playing together since they were 6. Right? So they're not reteaching anything. Those kids are coming up together. So the same thing has to happen. Like, anybody could go win a state championship if you put the right pieces together and it's done right. The community got to get behind the school got to get with the community. You got to get the right coaches in there, and then you got to get the right kids in there to get the kids back. But I believe they can. You got to teach them how. You know what I'm saying? So anybody go win a state championship, you got to teach them how.
Good point. Last question, then we'll get out of here. We'll stick on the state championship question. How do you feel about Miller's chances to win a state championship this year?
This year?
This year. Like, we saw him play DeSoto. I think that game was more of a learning experience. I'm just curious.
Like I said, I think Miller's doing a lot of good things over there. You know, it's just like last year, they had the opportunity to go win. You know, they let one get away from them. You know, so it all depends on which team show up this week and who they play against. You know, you show up against the right team, your chances are high. You know what I'm saying? If you don't show up against the wrong team, that team will beat you. You know, so it's any given Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, depending on what team show up. But I think they're in the best position than any other team in Corpus to go win that state championship right now. Everything has to come together, you know, the players and the coaches. So, I mean, good luck to Miller High School and any other high school in the Coastal Bend area that's going to play in the playoffs. I wish y'all all good luck. hope y'all come home with a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he couldn't have said it better. I have been Lucky Lamar. This has been the legend, the GOAT himself, Mr. Steve Fillmore, DJ Lil King. Take us out. Hey, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all for spending your time with us. We'll see y'all next week. Yes, sir. And y'all tune into the other shows, too.